Hey everybody, this your boy Jay Mason inside the Time Machine on WUAG 103.FM, playing the best of new and old school hip hop, R&B, and everything else in between. With me on the phone right now, I have Maurice Starr, the man responsible for discovering New Edition and creating the late 80s, early 90s teen pop group New Kids on the Block. Mr. Starr, welcome to the Time Machine.
Hey, thanks for having me, man.
It's no problem. We have a rare treat on our hands, the man responsible for creating 2 generations worth of pop and R&B groups.
Hey, brother, I'm very honored and very honored.
All right. Now,
the top and the bottom.
Now, tell the people out there, when did you get your start with music? When did you first fall in love with it?
I think I fell in love with music even before I realized I was falling in love with it. But it came at the time my mother was pregnant. My father told her that she was going to have 6 boys, and they were all going to play music. And actually, she used to put her belly to the piano and play the piano. So, and then when we came out, we were infants. I tell people all the time, they say, when did you start playing? I say, I don't remember, I don't know, and don't know what to say. So it started long before I realized it started.
And not too many people noticed that you were an artist at one point in time, correct?
I was an artist, but the reason they don't remember I was an artist is because, unfortunately, I never had a hit as an artist. Everybody else had them. So I guess God wanted me to be the man with the plan and behind the plan and behind the scene and making it all happen.
Right.
That's why they call me the general today.
And
man, they get the job done.
Right. And your brother, Michael Johnson, came out with a group called the Johnson Crew. They had hits such as Pat Jam, We Are the Johnson Crew, Space Cowboy, and in the video for We Are the Johnson Crew, Bobby Brown was breaking in the video.
Oh, Bobby Brown used to love to be a part of anything, whatever was going on. He says, Mo, count me in. And sometimes I had to count him out because he always was fighting with everybody else.
Right. Right. Now, explain to me the Hollywood Talent Night where you first got the look of New Edition, which was the next generation's Jackson 5.
Okay, well, New Edition came from the Hollywood Talent Night. Of course, it started with the Hollywood Talent Night, which is very special, near and dear to me. But what happened is somebody asked me to do a talent show in the ghetto at Parker Street Lounge, a little club called Parker Street Lounge. I saw all these little kids singing and dancing, and I said, wow, I need to put me a kid group together. And so I said, I want a group like the Jackson 5. So I created a show called the Hollywood Talent Night, and guess who walked up? It was 4 guys at the time. It was Ronnie wasn't there. It was everybody else, I think, what was it, Ricky,
Mike, Ralph, and Bobby.
Ralph and Bobby. And they sung for me the first time. I actually turned them down. But then they say, well, listen to them do one more song. And that's when they did the song, the Jackson 5 song, ABC. So I said, I need to go home and write a song like that. I wrote the song Candy Girl. I had them come up to my studio. They sung it, and the rest, as they say,
is history.
Is history.
Now, who came in first place in that talent show? Because New Edition came in second.
New Edition came in second. A fellow named Tino Payne came in first place. Of course, he never became famous, but he did come in first place.
Now,
just like the girl with Justin Timberlake, they taunt him sometimes. They say he lost on what's that shit with
Star Search?
Man, Star Search, and Justin won second place, but the girl never made it. She went out, ate a bunch of cookies and got real fat. And, Justin became a sex symbol.
Right. Now, explain to me the period of recording Candy Girl and the magnitude that record had, because it was getting played in Boston, but little did anybody know that it was getting played everywhere else.
Well, it was a song that from the second I wrote it, I say, this could be a big hit record. I felt like it was a hit, even though a lot of people I took it to, was like, I don't know. Even my friends thought I had lost my mind. There wasn't any kid groups out, so I went to a radio station. I said, I want you to play this and just see what comes back. They played it, and only 50% of the people really liked it. I was like, that's weird. So, but after a while, we took it, put it out. It caught on. When it caught on in New York, it was over. We almost went gold in New York alone.
Wow.
So it had a widespread appeal. Of course, then we took it into London. The rest of the world was number 1 all over the world. Yeah, it was a big record.
Definitely.
Still sell to this day. It was part of Laffy Taffy. That record is probably sold close to 20 million copies today. It won't stop selling.
No, it won't, because it also be noted, too, they signed the record deal with Streetwise Records, which is an indie label out of Boston, correct?
No, Streetwise Records was an indie label. Most of what you say is correct. It was an indie label out of New York.
Okay.
I didn't own it, but it was just a label out of New York City.
Right, and then of course, they had said in the contract they offered them like I believe it was $500 with the contract.
They say they were offered $500. To be honest with you, I'm not sure what they were offered because they had their own lawyers who did their deal. Some people say I did their deal, but that's the untruth part about the industry. That's not true.
Okay, we definitely said.
I actually had nothing to do with their deal, but go ahead.
Okay, we definitely setting the record straight with this. Now, Candy Girl blew up '83, and then tell me about that first tour.
First tour was a great tour. The guys had fun. They loved the girls streaming at them, and actually I was just out there learning more and more myself.
Now, the story comes in, tour's over, they get off the tour, and they get the checks, and it's $1.87.
But see, that's not true again. Well, first of all, by the time they got off the tour, I wasn't even there at that point. I was just there probably I created the group in probably the first 3 months. The rest of that tour was handled and led by a guy named Travis Gresham and another guy named Brooke Payne, which is Ronnie's cousin. People say that I took them on tour, and at the end I gave them a check for $1.87. But that's very untrue. I wasn't there at the end of the tour, and I never gave New Edition a check in my life because they had booking agents that gave them checks. They had record companies. I didn't own the record company, so I never had any of their money.
Right. So
but it's sad that I had all of their money. But the real truth of the matter is I didn't have any of it.
Right, because the question that's been riding you for a long time, a lot of people have been accusing you of taking their money.
Exactly.
In actuality, you haven't. So we're definitely going to set the record straight. Now, do you have any idea who may have took their money during that period?
Absolutely. I know and they know. But they don't want to talk about it, and I don't blame them.
Okay.
They're not nice guys.
Okay.
They're not nice guys, and I'm not mad at them for not wanting to say, because it was easier for, I tell you what, the guys, how it all began. I was in an office one day with some guys, and they said there was a newspaper. One was the Boston Herald, which is a racist paper, so I can talk about it. And they were discussing with the new people who did take New Edition money, who were not nice guys. But they said, if anybody get in our way, we're going to tear them down. And actually, I have a movie that's going to be coming out that's going to tell the real true story. And then people will get a chance. And so they can finally stop saying, Maurice took these guys' money and ripped them off.
Okay. Yeah, and then it was also around 84, 85, they left Streetwise to go to MCA, and it was a nasty court battle, I believe. You guys are in court, I think, trying to assume over the name. Now, clear that up.
Right. Well, the thing of it is, a lot of people think that New Edition took me to court. And if that was the case, if I would have took their money, they would have took me to court. But New Edition never brought me to court. I actually took them to court because I didn't get paid. I didn't get paid, and the name at the time I had on the name. So I absolutely. But that was a story for another day with a bunch of other cutthroat people in the industry, such as the Clive Davises and people. So I'm gonna leave them alone right now.
Okay.
And so I became the fall guy to a lot of people, but it's okay with me. I kept going. I created new kids. They people checked my record out and found out it wasn't nothing but a big lie, and I went on to discover the biggest group in the world. Since then I worked from P. Diddy to Little Romeo to Bow Wow to Trina. I mean, the list goes on and on and on.
Okay.
Venus and Serena father, so Jackie Chan, I promote him, so it hasn't hurt me at all. I said I got the number 2 record in the country right now with Big Face.
Okay.
So it hasn't, what they said or whoever said it never hurt me. I probably had another 200 or 300 hit records since then.
Right, and with the whole court thing, they were talking about, getting VCRs, this, that, and the third. Now, that's over with. They're going to MCA. Tell me about your thought process, like, after that whole bitter, nasty breakup with New Edition and then the creation of New Kids.